I'm Phoebe.
I'm Rejoice.
And I'm Naomi.
Girls Talk is going to be us discussing some big topics that we think are really important that maybe don't get discussed enough in society. So how we're going to do it, there'll be a topic in here with a few questions, we're going to pull one out each and we're going to discuss it between us. We've got our biscuits, we've got our brews and we're ready to go.
How has being a woman impacted your religious values?
For myself, growing up into the church as well, I've always wanted to work in the church and do things like that. There's always been this sort of stigma that men work in the church, men are ushers, men do the music, and it wasn't really a thing, like a status thing, but it just happened to be. And I think that's the way that it's always worked. And there was just a rise, I think, about 10 years ago, of a lot of women coming into the church that wanted to obviously work in the church as well. In the church, I've had a lot of times where I've kind of had to be like fighting my case to do the work of what I believe is right, really, just because of my gender.
We always used to normally talk about the men in the Bible that are the leaders, but there are a lot of women leaders in the Bible that are mentioned too. So like even like when Jesus was raised from the tomb, one of the first people he went and pretty much trusted the gospel to was a woman, and there were like women pastors in the Bible and stuff as well. But for some reason we don't always highlight them as much, because growing up in the church, both my parents are pastors, I saw my mum preaching all the time, and my mum leading stuff as well as my dad doing the same. I guess maybe because my dad only has daughters as well, he's not sort of like stopped us ever from thinking that we can have on like I guess big roles and play big parts in church. Like
I think with British Christianity, women vicars are kind of seen as a bit of a joke. Don't know if that's all to do with like the Vicar of Dibley and whatever. So obviously that was the comedy that came out that made such, I mean that was 90s, and that made such a massive thing about it being a woman vicar. Because it was the truth though. In small parishes they didn't have them, did they?
That's so true.
And so she's seen as like this comedic joke who actually turns out to be really, really good at it.
Like the faith that you practice yourself, you understand it and you're comfortable with, and that's what you put out in the world. Then there's the world's view of your religion, and that definitely impacts you a lot.
Stereotype,
almost like you're fighting this battle that doesn't even need to be fought.
Exactly.
Really, aren't you?
Exactly, that's so true.
And they always assume women in religion are like told what to do, don't they? That's always assumed that it's not their choice. They've been told by men what to do. But it's usually men who are saying that. It's very rarely women that are saying, men are telling me what to do. It's normally men going, in that religion or this religion, it's the men who decide.
Yeah, and definitely the media as well.
Yeah, that's so
They
true.
have a large play in like what goes on, what doesn't go on. I feel like that impacts a lot of people, because then they'll read it and say, yeah, this is true, but then they won't ask someone of that faith, and like you just have to like fight your battles just to prove that you're a normal person in society, you know what I mean? Like, just to prove
like I'm
yourself
happy.
that you're-
What advice would you give to young people who are unsure on their beliefs? Any relationship you have with, like, even a person, you're a bit like, I don't know about you today, but what's up with your attitude? And it's kind of the same with God in that relationship. Once you get to that level, you're like, sometimes it's like, you get to a point where you're like, sorry Lord, but I can't be bothered to talk to you today. And then there's other times where you're pouring your absolute heart to him, and it's just like, if he wasn't so loving, goodness, like, if this was anyone else, it'd be like, well, you didn't talk to me yesterday, so I'm not going to help you today. If you're unsure, talk to people that are from the same faith as you as well, and talk to them why you're unsure about what you believe. At the end of the day, make sure that you're happy and around supportive people that are also going to love you, because that's the end of it all anyway. It's all about love, really.
But at school I didn't really have any friends that were Christians. I very much went off the radar. If you have, decided that you wanted to get to know Jesus more, and you've asked and welcomed him into your life and to have a relationship with him, no matter like where you are or no matter how you feel, he is always there with you. What helps me a lot is I'm just honest with God. Like before I wasn't honest with God. Like if I wasn't feeling it, I'd just like ignore it and like ignore him. But now I'm like, if I'm not feeling it, I'm like, Jesus, I'm not feeling it.
Give me a minute.
This is how I feel. You know what's going on in my life. I need help. And literally just speaking to him like that, because he cares and he's there for you and stuff. So, it won't be like this super magical, like, boom, gush of light, wind everywhere. And in the middle of it, he's like, yes, I am God. It won't be like that, but it will be like in a simple friendship, perhaps with someone that might say something that really resonates with you, with your heart and things. So.
the best thing you could do if you're wanting to discover faith or try and understand it is do your research, but choose wisely as to where you research. So don't look for like media amplification, don't look for anything like that. Speak to people that know what they're doing, maybe go to your local church and see if they can help you there.
Religion is not a destination, it's a journey, and you have to prepare for the dips in faith, because you're going to have doubts, you're going to have like questions come up in your life, and you're able to answer them, and you'll go through bad times and good times, but as long as you get back up and keep, progressing, I feel like that will help you grow and things like that, especially talking to people. I learned a lot from here. It's also good to have that kind of like comfort ground of people that understand you, and it's nice to have that, but I feel like that's what people look at faith as. It's like, oh, it's scripture, it's text, it's this and that. And I just kind of look at it as a faith and like your relationship with God, like how you would see your relationship with a friend. Don't see it as like, it's all like, theoretical like relationship with friends. You'd see it as like a personal kind of relationship with friends.
Because it's not the same for everyone, is it? But in RE you're sort of taught that it's kind of the same for everyone, and then exactly. People pray like this and you do this, and it's like, well, you do it however is right for you. If you're gaining something from it, you can be different from that, like a friendship, I suppose. It's always different, isn't it?
Hope you enjoyed that conversation all about faith. Stick around, and next I think we are going to be talking
who influences us.
So we'll catch you then.